You won't believe what my neighbors did to me. Last week, the HOA cut the power lines to my house. They said I was breaking the rules by using solar energy. Can you imagine that? I was just trying to save money and save the planet. But guess what happened next morning? Their whole neighborhood went completely dark. No lights, no AC, no fridge, nothing. And me? My house was glowing bright like a little sun in the middle of the night. People were standing outside, staring at my home with shock on their faces. Some even came knocking on my door, begging me to help them. But I remembered what they did to me, and I had a plan. Stay till the end of this story. You won't believe how the tables turned. And hey, before we start, make sure to subscribe to HOA Drama Diaries because the next story is even crazier than this one. My name is Jake. I live in a small, quiet neighborhood. When I moved here 3 years ago, I thought this place was peaceful. Big green lawns, clean streets, friendly faces. Everyone said, "Oh, Jake, you are lucky. This community is perfect." But I didn't know then. This place had a secret monster. The HOA. At first they were nice. They smiled, waved, and sent small letters about rules. No big deal, right? Rules are fine. Until the day I tried to do something good. Something smart. Last year my electricity bill was going crazy. The prices were so high I couldn't sleep at night. One day my friend told me, "Hey Jake, install solar panels. They save money and help nature." That idea sounded great. Sunlight was free, clean, and always there. So I decided to do it. I bought solar panels with my savings. I hired a company to install them on my roof. When they were done, my house looked beautiful. Shiny black panels catching sunlight all day. I felt proud, like I was doing something good not just for me but for the planet too. But I did. And know my happiness would make some people angry. Very angry. Next morning I got a letter on my door from the HOA. It said, "You are violating community appearance standards. Remove solar panels immediately or face fines." I stood there reading the letter again and again. What violation? It's my house, my roof, my money. I called the HOA office. A woman answered. Her name was Mrs. Parker, the HOA president. She spoke like she was the queen of the town. She said, "Mr. Jake, your solar panels are ugly. They destroy the look of our neighborhood. You have to remove them." I said, "Ma'am, these panels help the environment. They don't hurt anyone." She said, "Rules are rules. Everyone must follow." I tried to explain, but she cut me off. Her voice got louder. "You think you are smarter than us? We built this community. You don't make the rules here." That moment I understood. This wasn't about rules. This was about power, her power. Days passed. Every time I came home, HOA letters were on my door. Remove the panels. Pay $500 fine. Last warning. I didn't remove anything. Why should I? I wasn't breaking any law. Then, strange things started happening. One morning I saw 2 men standing near the electric pole beside my house. They wore uniforms, but not from the power company I knew. I went outside and asked, "Hey, what are you doing?" One of them said, "Routine check." That was a lie, because the next day, my power was gone. Everything turned off. No lights, no fridge, no AC. Even my security camera was dead. At first I thought it was a blackout, but when I looked outside, all the other houses had light. Street lamps were shining. Cars were running. Only my house was dark. My stomach dropped. I went to the electric pole again, and then I saw it. My power line was cut. Clean cut. No mistake. Someone did this on purpose. I called the electric company. They said, "Sir, we did not disconnect your line. You need to contact your HOA." My blood boiled. I ran to the HOA office the next morning. Mrs. Parker was sitting there with 2 board members. All of them were smiling. I said, "You cut my power. Why?" She leaned back in her chair and said, "We told you many times. You broke the rules. This is your own fault." Her tone was cold. She didn't care. I said, "You can't do that. That's illegal." She smiled and said, "Then go to court." Then she looked away, ignoring me like I didn't exist. I felt helpless, angry. My groceries were getting spoiled in the fridge. My kids were sweating all night. And they laughed at me. The HOA members walked around proud, as if they won. For 3 days I lived without power. But my solar system still worked. It was off-grid, a small backup line I secretly built. So during the day, my fans and lights worked using the sun. At night, it was limited, but still, I survived. Mrs. Parker and her HOA friends kept watching. They thought I gave up, but I was silent, planning something. Because nature was about to take revenge, not me, and no one saw it coming. That night, the sky turned dark. Heavy clouds rolled in, lightning flashed, the wind was wild, a huge storm was coming. Everyone in the neighborhood was scared. They closed windows, locked doors, and turned on all lights. But when the storm hit, everything changed. That was the night when karma came knocking on their doors. That night, everything felt strange. The wind was howling, trees were shaking, and lightning flashed again and again. Rain started falling hard. It was like nature was angry. I sat near my window watching the storm. My solar batteries were charged, so I had small light in my living room. Outside, everything looked dark and scary. The thunder hit again. Boom! I saw a flash of light and the whole street flickered for a second. Then it happened. The entire neighborhood went dark. All houses, all street legs. Why is this everything? Only my house had light. For a few seconds, I didn't understand. Then I realized. The storm hit the main power line of the neighborhood. All electricity was gone, except mine, because I had solar backup. I looked out the window, and what I saw made me smile. All the houses around me were dark, quiet, and scared. People came out with flashlights, shouting, "What happened? Where's the power?" Mrs. Parker's big fancy house was dark too. I saw her standing outside with an umbrella, shouting at someone on the phone. She looked angry and helpless, and I was sitting in my bright, warm living room, drinking coffee. It felt like justice. My kids laughed. "Dad, look, we are the only house with light." I said, "Yes, sweetie, that's what sunlight gives us, power and peace." After some time, HOA members started knocking on my door. Knock, knock, knock. I opened the door. There was Mrs. Parker, her hair wet, her voice shaking. She said, "Jake, do you have power?" I said, "Yes, I do. Solar energy." She looked surprised. "Can we charge our phones, please? The power company said it may take 12 hours. I wanted to laugh, but I stayed calm. I said, "Oh, I thought solar panels were ugly, remember?" She looked down. She had no words. Behind her, I saw other neighbors. The same people who supported the HOA, who signed letters against me. Now all of them were standing there, cold, wet, and scared. I said, "Come in. Let's not fight in this weather." They came inside, and I gave them warm coffee. My lights were shining bright. My fans were running. Everything was perfect. Mrs. Parker said quietly, We are sorry for what happened." I looked at her and said, "You cut my power, remember? You made my kids sleep in heat." She said, "It was a mistake. The board, we thought we were right." I said, "No, you just wanted control. You didn't care about the planet or people." Everyone stayed silent. For the first time, Mrs. Parker looked small, not powerful, not proud, just small and tired. After some minutes, the lights of other houses were still off. One of the neighbors said, "Jake, how do these panels work? They look so cool." I smiled and said, "It's simple. The sun gives energy. You just need to accept it." Mrs. Parker looked around and said softly, Maybe we should all install them." I said, "That's what I was trying to tell you. Solar is not the enemy. It's the future." The rain outside slowed down. The storm was gone. But something changed that night, not just the power, but people's hearts. Next morning, when I went outside, the neighborhood looked different, calm, quiet. No more angry letters on my door. Instead, people smiled and waved. A few days later, the HOA called a meeting. Mrs. Parker stood in front of everyone and said, "We made a mistake. We punished Jake for doing something good. From now on, solar panels are allowed in our community." Everyone clapped. I couldn't believe it. The same people who once called me a rule breaker were now supporting me. After the meeting, Mrs. Parker came to me and said, "Jake, you were right. The night we lost power, your house gave light to us all. You made us realize something important." I smiled and said, "Sometimes you need darkness to see where the real light is." She laughed and nodded, and from that day, everything changed. Slowly, other houses started getting solar panels too. The neighborhood looked beautiful. Roofs shining in the sun, clean energy everywhere. Even the power company visited to see how we managed during the blackout. The local newspaper wrote a small story about it. One man's solar panels saved the neighborhood during a storm. People came to me for advice. How to start solar? What company to trust? How much money it saves? I helped. Everyone. No anger, no revenge, just kindness. Because I knew the real revenge is not hurting people but making them change for good. Now when I sit outside at night, I see small solar lights glowing on every house. It feels peaceful. I smile and whisper, "Thank you, sun." But still, I never forget that day. The day HOA cut my power lines to show their power. And the next morning, the universe showed them what real power means. And that's how everything changed. The people who once cut my power now follow my light. Life is funny. When you do the right thing, even darkness can't stop you. So my friends, always believe in yourself. Do good, stay strong, and never let anyone dim your light. If you like this story, make sure to subscribe to my channel, HOA Drama Diaries, for more amazing and powerful stories like this. Thank you for watching. And remember, when the world goes dark, your light can still shine.